What's up, guys? All right, so no major plans right now. I let me bring you over here first. I just wanted to basically give you guys another reminder that you have now 24 hours left to go start your account with Gap and get your discount. So I'll say everything that it takes to do that. What's up, Thomas? John, what's up, buddy? Nate J, what's up, man? So yeah, if you haven't went over to Gap and started an account, go to Gap Harbor Supply, their website, start a account with them. Just fill out their information to make an account. You do not have to purchase anything. They will give you 15% off for a year. In the little comment section, maybe put Steelborn, but if you do that in the next 24 hours, they will give you a 15% discount for a full year on anything they sell. So do that, get that good discount. Um, but give them 24 hours to process your information so that you can start receiving your account before you make an order. So make your account, wait 24 hours, then get your sweet discount. So, and continue to get that discount for a full year, which is just crazy to me that they would offer that. That's so awesome. But yeah, what are you guys up to? Like I said, this is what I worked on today. Okay, let me show you. So right here, oh, my, hang on, my, let me see who's here first. John's here. Dink, Dan, what's up, man? Nate's here. I started an account a couple weeks ago. I got, I got to go back in and put that information in. Dan, okay. This is something he told me. There's a few of you who made an account and put in the info thing that you're with Steel or you came over from Steelborn. He gave you the discount. So just check, maybe re-put the stuff in just to be sure. But I don't know if you realize this, he's just a awesome dude. And even though you had made it ahead of time, he's already given a couple people the discount before he was supposed to, just to be nice. So hopefully that's your situation. But t-shirt on today, nice. Yeah, I hope so. But I'm not putting my stuff away because every time I put my warm clothes away, it just gets stupid cold again. So, but if you notice my trailer, you see the metal that's down. We put the metal down in our trailers because we slide brush off, and it makes it so much easier for it to slide off with these metal sheets in the bottom. So we pull our brush off, but the problem is that's not why I have that down. I have that down because my floor is rotted. So since I've gotten this trailer, I've only replaced and put racks on and stuff. I haven't really done much for the trailer itself, but yeah, I had the floors started to rot out. I think mainly it's probably because I left brush in there overnight and would leave it for weeks at a time. All that moisture stays trapped in there. It rotted the floor out. So probably my fault for doing that all the time. But yeah, so I put the metal down over the holes, and there's some big holes in this floor. So guess I need to get a rope wrench, a hand extender, and a micro. Right on, John. Um, check out homeboy over here. Monty, hey, are you shining? Are you glowing? What's up? I like your collar. You look cool. Yeah, that's my guy. He's so goofy. But yeah, need to get a rope wrench, a hand extender, and a micro. There you go, man. That's that's enough equipment there to get it done. But the floor situation, because the floor's rotted, you go to screw it in and the screws don't take. And then what would happen is after I took a few loads of brush off, all right, if you look here, after I would take a few loads off, all this metal was like way up here. It was flipped and flopped. It kept ripping out. And I attached a metal plate, this big metal plate I welded on when I first got the trailer to like bring logs on so it wouldn't tear the wood up as it came on. So that's all solid plate there, like a squared off one. So it's actually one of these things here. These are my ramps that I have that I hook on there. So what I did was I took and cut one of these sides off, and then it's just like this part and then the back here. And then I mounted that against that and then welded it on. So like actually I have ramp holes, but I like to put it up there. Now I tried to weld this stuff and it doesn't weld. It just burns straight through it. So um, let's see. Let me catch up on comment. What's up, Rob Bob? So I couldn't weld it, and that's two sheets there. They're overlapping. So here's the idea I come up with. Check this out. Look how straight it is now, and completely solid across there. And there's huge holes right there, but I couldn't weld the metal to the metal. It wouldn't work. It burnt through it every time. So instead, if you look really close, you over here and you'll be able to see it easier. Now do you see this? See that angle iron? There's a piece of angle iron that goes from there to there, and then from there to there. This little short one. So what I did is I welded the angle iron over it a little bit, like I welded it against this back plate here, the big back plate. So I welded it to this, and then the lip of the metal was I welded the back, and then I hammered the ends of the angle iron down to mash the metal back down. So now it's completely solid through there, and yeah, kind of impressed. It worked pretty good. I couldn't figure out any other way to attach it because I could have used bolts and like bolt it to the metal. Man, that would have taken forever. And I definitely wasn't into getting into some big huge project because I need to replace the floor anyway. So I wasn't too stoked on that. But was stoked when I seen how it came out, and kind of impressed that it worked so good, because I got to that like point of being aggravated and almost wanting to give up, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I got a few scrap pieces of angle iron. Maybe I could use those and weld them to and use them like a clamp to grip it. So yeah, that's what I did. Anyway, good to see you too, Rob. Yeah, it worked pretty good. It was like when you weld it up there, because the that plate that goes across the back of my trailer there, it's kind of rounded. It's a bit rounded on the edge. It didn't set totally flush. There's this big lip, and then that rippled metal wouldn't let it smash down perfect. So I like took one of my ramps and would set the angle iron on there and then mash my ramp onto it and set on it so it would hold it close. And then I just put a good weld on like the side and the bottom, and then I took the other end and just beat it with a hammer and smashed it down onto there so it grabbed it. But yeah, it's gonna work. The problem is when you go to pull brush off, when you have a lip here, it grabs everything and wants to rip it off. So hammering them lips down onto there should help them not, hopefully, come off so easy. But we'll see about that. Give me just a second. I tell you what, I'm gonna pop you guys right here. You can see Monty until I go walk around. funny or something. What are you doing? Let me see your belly. Let me see your belly. Got that big old belly stuff? Yeah? Okay. There's food blowing over there. Yeah, you're funny. Oh, okay. I'll pop you guys over. Alright, I'm going to show you something. Just because you guys are my favorite. Anyway, I am going to do a YouTube short of this. But first I'm going to give it to you guys. Since you're here, and you're always here, I'll give it to you guys first. Then we'll do a YouTube short, and the rest of YouTube can know this info. But, okay, base anchoring. When you base anchor to a tree, this is going to be weird because a lot of people are going to tune out on this video long before this part pops up, and they won't know this, which is kind of cool. So, base anchoring to a tree usually takes quite a while sometimes, getting all set up. I double wrap a lot of times. There's a billion different ways to do it. But I have a fixed system that is adjustable. So any size tree, even one this small. And you can make it as big as you want or as small as you want. This one's actually my small one. And this can double as a lanyard if you ever got on in a spot and you need an additional lanyard. It would just double as a lanyard. But all you need is a good section of rope, however long you want. Monty, stop. A thimble, a carabiner, and a brisket. So, here's what it is. Actually, I'll show you how. I already have it hooked up. Look at how nice this is. So this is a fixed system that hooks to the tree, creates an anchor, and then all you do is clip in and anchor your rope to it. You don't have to anchor the end of your rope, do all this other mess. So when you get up there and you're like, hey, disconnect my base anchor so I can pull it back up, all your ground guy has to do is disconnect, pop it off. So here's how this is set up, and here's how it's adjustable. So we take this can't come back out with the way this is set up because of the thimble and because of the carabiner. So it can't come back out. So you don't have to worry about that. If you set this system up, it can't loosen. So I'll show you how I did all that. First we'll pop the carabiner off. Then we pull our prusik ends out. Actually, I probably have it all snugged up, so it's going to be kind of hard. But they pop right out, okay? So here's what it actually is. And I'll disconnect this. This is just a daisy chain. So what this is simply a section of rope. Alright? It's a section of rope. Not very big. I would say 4.5, maybe 5 foot of rope is all this is. What I've done is set a knot and put a thimble in there. So I like to, after I set it, I leave a little bit of excess rope and then tape it to itself. That way I can see if there's any movement or anything in the movement of the tape. This one never moved, so then only thing you need is a prusik. Prefer kind of long rigging one. It works the best. It allows for more wraps and stuff. So yeah, you put your thimble in, set it up. Now you have your thimble, and you attach your prusik with the simplest knot. Alright, let me go tell him to lay down real quick. Okay. I should have threatened his life real quick, it's alright. So do we have anybody else new? Oh, we got some comments, huh? Oh heck no, that's right. I came in late now. I see what's going on. Good work. Oh, about the trailer. Thanks, guys. Hammered. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny, no moss. You can't see. Yeah, I know. He can't. Definitely can't be sneaking up when he's glowing like that, can he? Who said yo yo y'all? Ground pounder. What's going on? How'd that job go today, Rob Bob? Did you do a job today, Rob Bob? That's a good idea, dude. So smooth. Okay, couldn't be happier. Thanks for asking. How about? Okay, cool. So it went good. All right. So you have your little setup here. Like I said, this is my short one. This is also what I'll use like for an extra lanyard. Sometimes I just have a quick setup of it, and I'll throw a carabiner on there, throw a prusik or on a carabiner here or a rope grab or something on this. It does have a knot at the end, so it can't pass through. So it's totally set up for that. But then I end up using it for the fixed base anchor, and this is probably the fastest, most efficient way, and it's simple. Really, really, really simple. So he's also been milling wood for 40 years. My mom's waiting for pizza to come. Right on, ground pounder. All right, so I'm gonna show you how this is hooked up. All right, and then we're gonna end this live because I didn't really want to do a live. I just wanted to remind everybody to go make their accounts because you only have 24 hours left, and don't be that guy who like makes an order here in a month and wishes he would have 15% off because it's free and you don't even have to order anything. All right, so that you can see clear, I'm just gonna give you the old crotch shot, guys. Alright, so here's how I set it up. Take the prusik, and I like to keep the eyelets facing the same way. And then I'll lay it down, and we'll put it under. And then we just take and run it through it. So once we'll run it around the rope and through, and I would say at least twice. So then we ran it once, and we'll run it again. So at least twice, because you don't want to have just two little stubs here, because some length on this is what helps. So then you'll dress this thing and get it so it bites down right. Your ends are even. Let's see. Pull backwards on it. A lot of times is how I get them to dress for that knot. But what you're left with ends up being that. Okay? So now this is all you basically need in a carabiner. So what you'll do now, even on a tree this small, which is the small ones are the hardest thing for these things to work, but this works perfect still. So you'll take the end, here's your anchor end, you'll run it around. Now when you get back to this side, you take these two prusiks, the two ends, and you just put them in here. Okay? Run one through and then run the other. That way a little easier to put them through when you run them one at a time. So now you have it set up like this. It's running through. Now you have a gap. You have some space. So what you'll do is snug up, tighten up now. Recheck real quick. You still got, you don't want it touching. You're not. You want some space there. You want it about right there. Some space in between. So tighten it a little more. Right there. Looks about perfect to me. So what I do is snug it up, then I anchor and put a knot after it so that there's no chance of anything getting caught on it and it moving or coming loose on you. So you could just tie a regular knot. I usually just run a daisy chain and it helps get rid of the excess rope a lot of times. So now it's set up like that. We can easily take it and run it back through. So we're hooked up. Now all we do is put our carabiner in it. Like I said, I like to have them facing the same way always. carabiner up. Now it's on a bite. It's perfect. It's bit down good. You still have, let me show you a little bad camera angle, but see the space there? You have all that space left that it's still biting. And that's why you want a longer pressure to do this. It helps. But yeah, very good, efficient, easy way to do a base anchor. And then when you get down, you don't got a billion knots to untie. You just unclip, pop off, undo your daisy chain, move your knot down a little bit so it's easy to handle. Out. Now you're done. And then I usually just daisy chain it back real quick so that I don't have a bunch of stuff sitting everywhere and a rope all wadded up. So you can take this little thing, take it and throw it in your bag, and there's your base anchor set up. Throw your carabiner on it, and that's it. That's my fixed, adjustable base anchor that can be used on any size tree, depending on how long you make the rope. So if I made that rope stupid long, I could do a stupid wide tree. So I actually have a much bigger one, exact same thing, same setup. It's just much longer. I signed up with them last night. Appreciate you. Oh, right on, Ground Pounder. Cool. I signed up this morning as well. Heck yeah. That's awesome because they did hook me up with some stuff, which I feel guilty the fact that they gave me the stuff. So I want to reciprocate by bringing some traffic to them and giving them some publicity. So I'm not a huge channel, but I will give it everything I got and promote as much as I can for them to return the favor, because that gear's not cheap. So dude, that's one of the slickest base anchor setups I've ever seen. Oh, thanks. Yeah, and I mean that same setup, I don't know if you noticed there, but this is basically an adjustable canopy, or an adjustable cambium saver. So if you was to put this hole here and then attach like a micro pulley to this, you would adjust this out. Okay, so you would be like over a limb like this. Let's see. All right, so you could be over a limb like this, and then if you had a micro pulley onto the end of this, the knot you would go to retrieve, you'd go through both, and it'd work as a friction saver, cambium saver, but the knot would pass through the thimble but catch on the micro pulley, and then you could actually retrieve the system too. So same setup, it could be used a bunch of different ways. So just thought it was a useful little trick that I could share and pass on. So still probably going to do a YouTube short on it. That way I can refer people to it when they want to know. Thanks, Skippy. That's cool. Oh, thanks, John. I have to try that out. Yeah, Dan, it's really nice. I don't know why I actually stopped using it. If you're climbing DRT, it's not really an important thing. Base anchor's not important at all. So that's probably why I stopped using it. I ended up probably using that pressic for something else, and when I took it off that, I stopped using it. Who knows? I don't even know. Or I just wanted to try something different. But yeah, give it a try. It's definitely a slick setup and really easy to use, real effective. I like it a lot. So I want to find a good SRT and DRT rope recommendations. Dude, I'm loving the one that they sent me. I use it SRT and DRT so far, and it is amazing. So what they sent me was Poison Moon, which is an 11.7 climb line with a spliced eye. The spliced eye that they have is amazing. So yeah, Poison Moon 11.7 millimeter is the rope. I love the colors too. I didn't think like that wouldn't. I usually buy something that's really bright, but then it becomes dull so quick. But I dig the colors on it and stuff. Like it's just a good rope. It's good rope. It's stiff, but malleable still. Like able to knot and everything. Not too stiff like some SRT ropes can be. Um, but stiff enough that it works really good. Works awesome in the zigzag. So um, I would. I mean, I would try it. Like I would try it. You know, you get your discount. It should give you a good discount on that. But yeah, I would say that, or you know, with Gap, or I don't know. That would probably be my suggestion. I had the Tachyon Ash from Tuffelberger, and it is a really good rope, but it's a little soft. It is little too soft. So like for some SRT stuff, like with the Gree stuff with loaded cams and stuff, like it didn't seem to work all that great, as good as like the All Gears ropes and stuff did for me. But then the All Gear, like this one here, ended up being almost too stiff. So this is also 11.7, but too stiff. The core's like almost too stiff. So even though it's 11.7, you'll get like some creeping going on until the rope's actually broke in. And that's why I like this Poison Moon that I got from Gap. It didn't like there was like a day of messing with it and wrapping it and pulling it and moving it in, and it was like broke in. Like it was at that point. It seemed very stiff when I first pulled it out and used it, but it was instantly felt like it was almost broke in, and it was really nice. So I made sure to mention your name when I signed up. That's awesome. What's up, Billy? I was told not to use ecstatic for DRT at all because it will damage the rope, the jacket, and core will separate. See, if someone tells me something like that, like I'm not using that rope at all. If that's an issue, did you guys? There's a real cool rope thing that they're doing. I think it's called Ring. Yeah, it's called Ring. Is the rope brand, and what it is, it's a rope that after it has a damage, like it gets damaged, the inside core is red, so it's like a quick identification that there's a problem with the rope, and it's called Ring because it's red is no go. So when you see red on the rope, you know that there's an issue with the rope there. So it's like an identifier, like thing, almost an alert when you're using the rope. But that's something new that um, Gap was messing with, and that they're like supplying and like producing, I think. So maybe check that out. But yeah, I mean that's just my recommendation. I have no use for a rope. That's only good for one or the other. I know. Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like there should be that common ground rope. And like I said, I had good luck with the all gear ropes, but I would not suggest buying them because like I don't much like the company. Like I don't know. I like I I don't know. I don't want to talk bad about nobody. But yeah, the quality has went down. I will say that on the ropes. I bought the same rope. The effort that was put into the splice die originally is no longer there. The additions and stuff that they do to set themselves a little bit apart are no longer put in. There's not the coatings. There's not the caps. There's not all the things that made you want to go with them originally is no longer there. So I don't think I even. Maybe I do. Hell, I don't know. I bought static just for the rope runner, but I sold that already. Oh, dang. Gotta grab 100 now. I gotta check and see what kind of rope I have. That has me worried. Yeah, check that poison moon, man. I don't know what truth there is. Not as far as I'm told by me. Well, and a lot probably has to do with it being a very, very stiff rope. With the SRT, they're meant to be stiff a lot of times. They're not meant to be malleable. And they don't go over unions and crotches and stuff and work in a moving rope system. They're meant to be stationary in the device to travel the rope, not for the rope to be going over abrasive like stuff. So there's where it is. Like a moving rope system, the rope is always being ran through a crotch or through a sharp bend in a cambium saver or something, and it's non-stop moving right there. Um, when you're climbing SRT, it's the rope is not being bent like that, and it's the device is traveling the rope. So I would think I can understand where they would have different constructions, but I've found ropes like this, the rope I'm talking about. It works amazing for both. I've had not a problem at all. I've tried every device and thing that I own, and they've all worked amazing on it, and I've had no issues yet. So when work picks up, I'm due to get a few new bits of gear. Oh, what's up, John? What's up, buddy? I'm wanting to get a. I'm wanting to get good at moving rope system first, then switch over to stationary. Yeah, I think moving rope is more forgiving and is easier to learn. I think that's a good idea. That's smart. Yeah, pretty much, Thomas. Yeah, it's pretty neat though the setup that they have. Like, but most of the time the core on a rope or the jacket on a rope is totally different colored so that you can see that. But this bright red, and I think they go with like white ropes, like beige and stuff like that with designs on them, so that the red really pops out when you see it. Um, but yeah, that's something that they do. And because I seen all this stuff about ring, and I'm like, I feel like I should know everything that they're. I know a secret right now about um, some stuff that's coming out about rings. Actually, I know a couple secrets, but and I don't even. They're not secrets. I already blabbed. I talk too much. I tell you guys everything. Um, Ben Wright was supposed to be coming out with another ring with a wider diameter, so that you can use bigger ropes. That was still hasn't came out. It's supposed to be a hush thing. Now everybody knows because I'm bad at keeping secrets, and I don't know if I'm supposed to keep this a secret. I don't think I was told to keep it a secret, but Gap or Tylaska is the company that makes the rings that Gap sell. I think they actually may sell X rings too, but I love those Tylaska rings. They're wider. The bend radius is better, and I love the coating. Um, they seem bulkier, like a little beefier, so I dig it. But I would say it's right there with X rings. But the problem is, X rings aren't being made like they were made by who they were made for, by originally. Now Notch produces them, and then that means you got Cheryl and Tree Stuff trying to figure out the cheapest way to make everything and produce it and get it out to you so they can make the most money. So I love the Tylaska rings and being able to use them. But if you've ever used a safe block and you've ever had to try to splice that safe block onto something, it always spins. Always spins. Okay? That's the problem with the safe block. The egg shape doesn't lend itself to doing the rigging without it wanting to shift. Even sometimes when you have it spliced, it will still move inside a splice. That's the problem with the safe block. Someone's got to be amazing at splicing to be able to get that thing in there and keep it in place so it doesn't move. Listen to what Tylaska is doing. This is so smart. Let me see if I can find an example. I have this thing, it'll kind of help explain it. So, this thing here, what this is a, wonder if this knot will pass. Heck no. But what it is, it's an anchor. So, you anchor strap to this, and then you run your rope through these holes, and you can use it to anchor yourself on a roof. I think it's for roof, but it's called a rope anchor. Um, so here's the genius in that. Like, it shows you ways. What you do is you would weave it in and out, and then take your end of your rope, and you would lift one of the loops here, lift it out, and run your rope through, and bite it, and then run another one, the other end of it through here, and what it would do is create a lock there, and your rope can't get out, and this is a full perfect anchor. Or if you need to lower something or whatever. So, cool little piece, but the safe block, now what they're going to do is, let's just pretend like it's only the 3 holes. This is the safe block. So, they are going to, there's going to be a channel in here, and they are only going to hook it to this part. Okay? They're going to make a channel in the inside of this, which will allow it to girth around this one hole, and then these two won't need to be, there won't be a rope going around this. It'll only be going around this channel that goes here around the first ring, which will prevent that egg shape and gravity wanting to take it and move it all the time inside the sling. So it's genius. Like that, you guys know me. I've messed with rings for a long time. I've always made all my own slings. I've done all that myself. I've never had issues with anything spinning, coming out, anything like that. Okay? Or like rubbing or having wear on anything. It's always worked. But I will spend a long time thinking of all the bad things that could happen so that before I come up with something. But I've never been able to perfectly, like, anytime I've ever used a safe block, it spins. It turns inside whatever I'm using it on. I'll use it on a whoopee. I'll use it on a fixed eye. I mean, a dead eye, or a dead eye sling. On the loopy, it just doesn't matter. It always spins. It always starts to turn inside on it. Like, I hate it. So I think that's the reason that I basically stopped using the damn thing, is because of that. I didn't like how it spun, because you had to be close to it, because if it got to turning too much, there would be times where it would be totally sideways, which is the dumbest thing. And I almost feel like the channel is so deep, it's almost too much. So I don't know, but Alaska has figured it out. I'll give him that. And when my guy Ray was telling me about this, it just it made so much sense. I'm like, that's genius. That's genius. I would if someone asked me to fix that problem, that would have been what I'm trying to do. The only problem with the device is the spinning. The egg shape doesn't lend itself, because you're either putting pressure at the base by running the device upside down, or you're putting it at the top. If you're putting it at the top, it's going to want to pull it sideways. If you're putting it at the base, it's not going to set up right, and it's going to jerk into the system and probably still pull sideways. So, I don't know. Yeah, because even if you ran it upward, the system upward, it's still going to be putting the initial weight on a top point and a bottom point, wherever it comes out. So it's going to want to turn. Just gravity doing its thing. That's not a bad idea. Learning both at the same time is awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you could learn them both. Like Hitch for a couple years before anything. But if you wouldn't work... I don't know. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Because, yeah, I mean, the guy who told you that, that would be the example I give. Okay, so you're telling me I can't use it in a moving rope system, but I can take it and use it on a unisender and wrap it over the drum, which artificially creates a moving rope system on that device. I don't know. I don't know, man. But that's, I mean, you're a smart dude. You're right on it there. That makes total sense. Supposed to be fine for that, but not through a friction saver. I really would like to find out more about that, but really can't find any info. Ever heard of the jailbreak? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Actually, Scoot did it. He had one. Um, it's a wild looking little device. I've not had the problem with it all with my safe block. Yeah, I think you bought yours, and it's on a super tight Deadeye sling, probably. That's the only way I've ever seen them to where they figured them out. And on that like green looking 10x rope. Um, that's the best ones I've ever seen, and but I've heard from guys that they've bought that same thing, and after using it for a long period of time, it started to turn in it. Like, and you paid to have it on a spliced eye, and that thing eventually starts to turn, and it's that egg shape. So even guys that are splicing them having issues. So, but yeah, definitely heard of the jailbreak. I've seen it, and it's kind of a cool little setup. Yeah, if you know what, if we're talking trees, ground pounder, I usually know what we're and gear and like we get off onto any other subjects, I'm in trouble. What's up, James? I bet it would have to be, and I think that's the reason the channel is actually so deep on the safe block. If you notice, it has a much deeper channel than any of the other rings that you'll ever buy. Um, it is super deep, and I think that's they're trying to get it so far in. But I think it's so smart that on this they're just going to hook to the channel around the whole ring, and it's going to hold the first one, and then it's going to give you the option of the other two still. So it's so smart. Like I think they're genius for coming up. That's this most perfect simple fix for that. So yeah, I've definitely heard of the jailbreak, and somebody was talking about the other day, or that would have been yesterday. Yeah, it was talking about the sling, that the thunder sling, that is the rings that are on a rope, and there's like four of them, and you weave them in and out of it. Another wild device. The new design sound. Yeah, it's really cool sounding. Like it just that bottom line. That's my only issue with the safe block. It's something that I didn't bring up and discuss and talk about all that much. Ah, there's my little jug of oil for my that I was looking for. Um, it's something I didn't bring up and I didn't want to talk about all that much because I just wanted to diss on the product. Like I wondered, is this my issue? And then I had asked other people, and I'd found out that guys that were physically buying them on spliced eyes, they were turning on them. People were trying to splice them themselves. They were turning on them. And then when I talked to Ray, and he has experience with when people buy them and they start to turn to I don't know if you guys are still. Well, that was my Masonic Lodge. Sounds like it's probably time for me to pay my dues again. Yeah, I'll have to call him later. But guys, Scoot is where I seen it. Yep. Matthew Sweeney, what's up, buddy? How are you? Everyone has different experiences with gear. Take for example. Are you guys there? I don't much understand people that do that back to back to back calling. Like, if someone didn't pick up your phone call and you leave a voicemail, why would you call right back? There's probably a reason they didn't pick up the phone. I don't know. I'm different, I guess. Michael Hoffitz, what's up, buddy? How are you? How you been? Um, so yeah, just one more time. This will probably be the very last reminder. Go get your discount at Gap Arbor Supply. 15% off for a year. Start an account. Mention my name in the comments. In the comments on the application to start your account. You don't have to purchase anything. It costs nothing. Just go start an account with Gap Arbor Supply, and you get 15% off for a full year if you do it in the next 24 hours. Do not order anything after you make your account. Allow 24 hours before you order anything because they physically have to go in and put your information in to get you into the computer system so that you actually receive your discount. So definitely, if you make an account, wait 24 hours before you order anything so that you get your full discount. Now that's just a gift from Gap that because they're cool. Not a whole lot, Matthew. Just chilling. I showed this, which is a fixed base anchor that's adjustable for tree climbing, SRT. Go back a little bit. We're in about almost 50 minutes. I'd say we were at the 20-minute mark, from around the 20-minute mark, somewhere in there. I show that, explain that, show how it's built, what you need. Before that, I think I just showed my trailer and what I'd been working on today. And then it's just been the reason for the live feed is just to remind everybody that, go get your discount. So but other than that, we just all hanging out. I'm gonna end up actually I'm gonna have to I gotta go to the store. So I'm gonna have to cut this short. Um I'm gonna I'm trying to figure out how to do this. I'm like I personally feel like I try to put a story with the video always. Um and it makes it a little more enjoyable, I feel like, for most, but maybe it doesn't. But that takes me a long time to clip together a video, then put a storyline to the video almost and explaining everything, and then all the text and, you know, highlights and stuff that I point out and this and that. Well, I'm not going to do a lot of that in the next video. It's going to be more kind of just like I'll point out the major things, but it's going to be a little limited as far as that goes. But I'll try to add a little more time to the video to make up for it. So a lot of good rigging. You guys seen on the sweet gum, I got about halfway, not even halfway, and we was rigging, swinging stuff over the house, swinging it around. So we'll pick it up right from there, where I was swinging those last couple limbs, and we maybe have a couple to rig. Then we have to install the double rings, and I have to install the rings. Here's the part in the video that I don't discuss a whole bunch, but I'll tell you guys that way you know when you watch it. The tree was set up kind of like this. If you look at this one, okay? You see how this stem, okay, this stem here sets out a ways. This stem goes even with the trunk. So I wanted to rig off of this stem because it would give me a better lowering point and it would keep it a little bit away from the house, which the house was right on the backside. So, but I didn't trust that this stem was going to be strong enough. I really I was tied into it, and I was scared to death it was going to break when I was rigging. So what I did actually was I had taken, we'll use this as an example, I had taken the rings, I had anchored them here to this stem, the back one. Then I had ran them out and put them on this one, ran it up around like a half inch, and ran it, here, let me show you, and ran it off of it like this, okay? So what would happen was when I was rigging off this small stem, this stem was actually bracing it every time, and they would move together, as opposed to this single stem moving and causing a separation and a blowout on the tree. So I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have had um, to set up a ring here, then set up a ring here. But because the that Deadeye sling that they sent me, the new one, the double ring, it is like 15 foot long. So I was able to cinch it to the back one, and then I had a long gap to where I could run that rope all the way over and then get it good and tight and anchor it to the other stem, and then it made the stems move together. Because I don't know if you've ever done sweet gum, if you know much about sweet gum, but very, very, very brittle, very, very, very heavy wood, and just not my favorite. Let's just say that. And we're not even talking about the stupid spiky balls that fall off of it. That makes it the worst tree in the world. But they're not fun to do. So that video will be up next. You will see it pretty soon because I'm gonna get to work on finishing it up. Then after that, another big sweet gum. A lot more rigging. Just a lot of trees. A lot of cutting, a lot of climbing, a lot of solving problems on the fly. So, thanks for hanging out. As always, you guys are amazing. Go get your discount. Don't let that slip by without getting it. And thanks for the support. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching the videos. Giving me thumbs up. You know, YouTube likes that stuff. And I'm trying my best to get on YouTube's good side because if you ask me, I swear they hate me. But you guys like me, I think. And that's all that matters. See ya. Stay safe. Go get your discount.